Now, this is from CNN. If you read this alone, it's not that big of a deal. But you combine this with all the other intel we've got, you project the lines, connect the dots, it gets very, very serious. Now, CNN, Army, 3 vials of virus samples missing from Maryland facility. CNN, missing vials of a potentially dangerous virus have prompted an Army investigation into the disappearance from a lab in Maryland. The Army's Criminal Investigation Command agents have been visiting Fort Detrick, Maryland, to investigate the disappearance of the vials. Christopher Gray, spokesman for the command, said the latest investigation has found no evidence of criminal activity. The vials contain samples of Venezuelan equine encephalitis, a virus that sickens horses and can be spread to humans by mosquitoes. In 97% of cases, humans with the virus suffer flu-like symptoms, but can cause death. In some cases, it says 1 out of 100. According to Corrie van der Linden, a spokeswoman for the Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases. There's an effective vaccine for the disease, and there hasn't been an outbreak in the United States since '71. The vials had been in the Research Institute's facility at Fort Detrick, home of the Army's top biological research facility, for more than a decade. The 3 missing vials were among thousands of vials that were under the control of senior scientists who retired in 2004 when another Fort Detrick scientist recently inventoried the retired scientist's biological samples. He discovered that the vials are missing. Okay, let's stop right there. Why is this so important? They want to build, and have finished a bunch of them, 36 level 4 bioweapons labs and put them in level 3 and level 2 containment. And they're building one down in Galveston. Before that could happen, it was about to open. The hurricane hit it and it's destroyed. That's smart. Build one on a hurricane coastline. San Antonio's getting a level 4 built in the university down there. They're moving Plum Island from New York, the zoological bioweapons lab, the most deadly stuff you can imagine. Ebola, weaponized limes, list goes on, stuff we don't even know about, to San Antonio. And there's 34 more of these babies. Who works in these facilities? Who has connections to them? Dr. Pianka saying he wants an airborne Ebola to kill 90% of us, and he gets standing ovations at universities. See, you start connecting. Let's expand from there. September 10th, Associated Press reported months later that September 10th, the White House cabinet went on Cipro, the anthrax-fighting antibiotic, because of concerns of anthrax. Then it gets mailed out to all of Bush's enemies. They start dying. Turns out it's the most weaponized anthrax ever seen. And the media says, no, it was made in a bathtub in a basement. No, it didn't come out of a base. Then it turns out it was the Ames strain, Fort Detrick, Maryland, miniaturized and then weaponized and had wings in a nanotech facility that only Fort Detrick can do. Wings microscopically put on every spore so that it gets picked up by the slightest breezes. This gets mailed out to all of Bush's enemies. He's on the anthrax-fighting Cipro antibiotic. People that put 2 and 2 together and figure out it's the government get FBI visits and threats. Horowitz, Dr. Horowitz, and others. All of this is going on. We'll come back and finish up with the other key info and how this ties in with some other things. Because they're announcing swine flu popping up in California, Ebola popping up in the Philippines. They're hyping all these new vaccines. We got a mixing live weaponized bird flu in with vaccine in Europe. And suddenly all these people dropping dead when they take a bird flu vaccine. Something's going on. The good old folks at New Silver Solution. And the website is supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. This is something that kills bacteria, viruses, you name it, well documented. They've got it down to a super small nano-sized particle. Supernaturalsilver.com. Check them out at Infowars.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. So we've got all these mysterious things going on, and anytime Fort Detrick tells you something's missing, you got to look out, because there was a little notice report by the bioweapons lab in England, Porton Down, that said, oh, we lost some vials, or somebody stole some vials of foot and mouth the day that it was supposedly being spread. 2 days later, it pops up in locations all over the country. 1 person, 2 people, 10 people couldn't have done it. They sneak into a level 4 bioweapons lab. Somebody steals it. It's got machine gun nests, barbed wire, minefields, underground, pressure facilities, big vault doors. That's level 4. They sneak in, they get it, and they spread it all over the country. And the government goes around killing 8 million sheep, 4 million cows that weren't even infected. And the images, all those big piles of cows burning. And then we predicted the government wouldn't let people restock, and they said, yes, it's not sustainable. You're not allowed to restock cows and sheep. They're waging war on agriculture. They want control of it. They want to use it as a tool of control for their one-child policies. By the way, England and Australia 2 days ago, we haven't even gotten to that. That's in the stack. I know Burma's covered it. Have announced they want officially a one-child policy. Now, I told you when I made Endgame 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, when I have talked on air, that these new rules about, we want to tax you if you have more than one child. That's a one-child policy, and now they're admitting it. So that's happening. That's what all this control is about. But then you have U.S. officials track new flu strain from pigs, and they're saying it could, it's similar to the bird flu, on and on and on. We may have to take vaccines. They just so happen to have a vaccine mass-produced for this pig virus. They just so happen to have this horse virus. Notice the government of Australia last year accidentally released the horse virus. We were just talking about that earlier in the week. They can kill humans. And they said, an accident from our laboratory. Okay, well, let's just say this is all accidents. It's an accident that in fake, Arab handwriting in English, it was meant to look like somebody who couldn't speak English wrote it. With Allah's great Death of the West gets mailed out from Fort Detrick, just an accident. And foot and mouth gets released from Porton Down by accident, and it gets released from Australia by accident, and you just continue. Come on in. What's going on?